Paper is so important when using certain mediums. So if you've ever been frustrated with the results when using distress sprays, paper might be the issue. I'm going to share with you my top 6 favorite papers to use with distress sprays and share a couple that just don't work. Let's get into it. I'm going to be sharing my top 6 favorite papers, but before we get into those, I think it's really important to highlight a few that didn't make the cut. Let's start with the paper that used to be my absolute go-to. I relied on it for a very long time until it changed. If you've ever taken my recommendation and found yourself disappointed by the results, I apologize from the deepest part of my creative soul. The Distress White Heavy Stock went through some changes about a year ago. I had no idea, so I'm sure many of you didn't know either. But now that I'm aware, I think it's important to share this information with you so that you aren't frustrated anymore with the paper choice. Now you could see how the sprays just soak right into the paper, not allowing for any of those beautiful blends and movements we all love in our backgrounds. The next paper that just doesn't work is Nina 110. I really thought it would. It's thick and smooth, but as you can see, the sprays just soak right in. Now that you've seen what doesn't work, let's get into the list of papers that do. Number 6 is going to be the Strathmore Mixed Media paper. This stuff for the price is going to be a good buy, only because you can purchase this with a coupon. And then of course you cut it up to your desired size. So mine's like 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, what I like to work on most of the time. And I have this because I was going to show every single one using the sprays on it, but I don't think that I need to. I think I can just show you what it looks like. It's beautiful. And of course, if I worked on this a little bit more, it probably could get a little bit better. But just to show you, it sits on top. This is just stuff from, you know, the ink that was on my surface, but it doesn't really seep through. It's vibrant, it's beautiful. You get all of that wicking, the texture, the depth. So the Strathmore Mixed Media paper is a win, but it is at the bottom because it's not my favorite. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Distress Watercolor Cardstock. I love this stuff for so many different things, even sprays, but it's not my first choice, if that makes sense. You could see all of that depth and texture. I'm going to be saying the same words over and over and over again, so I apologize. But this is definitely beautiful. If this is just something that I had. If you have certain watercolor paper in your stash, I would try it out, see if it works. I can't remember what watercolor paper. I want to say it's Arteza. Maybe it didn't quite yield the same results, so it was a little bit more dull and just bland. So I would test out what you have in your stash, even just a little spritz. You don't have to do a whole background. You'll know right away if it's going to work. So number 5 is the Distress Watercolor paper. So that's a different color combination there. Really pretty. Coming in at number 4, and honestly thinking about it, this shouldn't even really be in the lineup because this is completely different cardstock. But I do think that this one is a hidden gem. I often forget how beautiful the distress sprays are on craft cardstock, and this is the Distress Craft Heavy Stock. I don't know any other brand. I can't speak on any other brand. This is the one that I've used, and it works. So as you could see, you get a lot of that texture and depth, the wicking, the beautiful yumminess that we all love. I will continue to say Bristol Smooth Cardstock, but as you can see, it's Bristol Vellum Surface Cardstock. Bristol Smooth Cardstock will work just as well. All right, coming in at number 3, and this used to be number 2 before another company came out with some cardstock that I love now. This is the Bristol Smooth Cardstock, and I have used this quite often when it comes to zig markers, my sprays, just different things. It's a wonderful cardstock to have, and some of you might already even have it in your stash. So definitely use it if you have it. It's up there in my rankings because you could see all of that depth. Again, the texture, the depth, the wicking, all of the goodness on this paper. So the colors I used on this, I believe, are Spun Sugar, Seedless Preserves, and this middle one is Picked Raspberry. So beautiful color combination. This one is Milled Lavender and Seedless Preserves on this cardstock. So you could see how beautiful that is. All right, here's the shocker one. This is the one that really surprised me. I want to say that Mary Polanco had suggested this. She was taking my distress spray class, and this is what she had on hand, and she's like, you have to try it. It's beautiful, but I want your opinion, because she deems me as the expert, which I don't know. I think I'm just picky, not necessarily an expert. I'm just very picky when it comes to my surfaces that I use my sprays on. But this next one, number 2 spot, is going to be the Scrapbook.com mixed media paper. Who would have known? This cardstock is beautiful. So this is oxides on this side, and then this is the stains on this side. I wanted to see the difference between the two, how they looked on here, and you could see just, it's so vibrant. You get that texture. These are like all the water splotches that I put on my backgrounds. It's beautiful. It's a really good cardstock. It's really heavy. It's nice. It's nice and smooth. I believe it comes in a 6x8 and then a 4x6, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember 100%, but I do know that it comes in 2 different sizes, and they also have a black. I haven't really tried the black yet with oxides or anything like that, but I want to try it just to see if it reacts the same as the white, if it's gonna work. So, but anyways, that is the Scrapbook.com cardstock. It's beautiful. They might even have it as a freebie at some point. If you're, you know, browsing around purchasing from Scrapbook.com, be sure to always check out the coupons page, because they do often have a lot of freebies in that section. Then you could just add them to your cart. Anyway, so that's number 2. And number 1 should be no surprise, and that is Distress Mixed Media Heavy Stock. So I wanted to show you the difference, because I even sometimes get mixed up between the two. The white is just white heavy stock. Okay, so the one that's going to work is the mixed media heavy stock, not the white heavy stock. It's going to be the mixed media heavy stock. This one's like a little tan color. You could see how beautiful the sprays work on there. It's thick, it's smooth. The sprays just sit on top, so you're able to like mix them around and create new colors and create beautiful backgrounds with it. This is just a different color combination that I was using, and unfortunately I smushed a dirty paper towel on top. I'll find something to do with it, but yeah, so this one is my number 1 pick. I have several of these packs, so I'm hoping that the formula does not change in these, because then I would be really, really sad. But again, there are several different options for you to use your sprays on, so don't think that you have to have this brand or that brand or whatever. And if you have a different brand, I would try it out. I don't have every single brand. I'm very particular about the paper that I buy, so I would just try what you have in your stash. Just spritz a little bit on some paper and see if it works. I've created a free PDF download with all of this information, the cardstocks that work, links to them if you are, you know, shopping, things like that, and then photos of all of the finished, well, semi-finished backgrounds, and that way you could see visuals. You have it on hand, ready to go, and you don't have to always refer back to this video, but you can if you want to. This will be up indefinitely, so definitely get that free PDF download, and I hope this was helpful. All right, so I shared several papers at work. Now let's head over to the playlist that is on the screen, where I will share with you some amazing techniques that you can do with distress sprays. I'll see you there.